It's Tuesday, Tag Tuesday. I'm a bit late to the party here, but I've got a tag for you, the Rock On Celtic Songs book tag, which was created by Nicole at Nicole's Bookish Nook, and I was tagged by Pat at Book Chat with Pat. I'll link to both of their channels in the show notes below. My name is Jim, and this is my channel, Books, Reading and Stuff. All the prompts for this tag relate to Irish songs or covers of Irish songs. The first is Drunken Lullabies by Flogging Molly, a book involving a celebration that you enjoyed. I think this means the book I enjoyed, not the celebration, because I wasn't invited to this wedding. The book I have in mind is The Guest List by Lucy Foley, who is an Irish writer, and The Guest List fits Drunken Lullabies so well because it's literally a celebration, a wedding on a small island off the west coast of Ireland, and it turns dark, and the vibes totally match the rowdy, mysterious energy of the song. It's a murder mystery, a detailed study of the characters, told from multiple points of view, and it's a real page-turner book with a lot of atmosphere. Prompt number 2, The Parting Glass by Ed Sheeran. A book that left you feeling bittersweet because it ended. For this, I looked through some of my recent 5-star reads, and I chose The Sea of Rust by Robert Cargill. This is a gritty post-apocalyptic sci-fi novel I didn't want to end. It's set in a world where humanity has been wiped out and robots are all that remain. The story follows Brittle, a scavenger bot roaming the wastelands, trying to survive as AI mega hive minds battle for dominance. It's a compelling book asking philosophical questions about identity, consciousness, and the cost of survival. Prompt number 3, Rebel Yell by Billy Idol. A book you read because someone told you not to read it. No one tells me not to read books, but I've chosen a book that was banned and challenged in many parts of America, and that's And Tango Makes 3, about 2 male penguins in New York's zoo, written by Peter Parnell and Justin Richardson and illustrated by Henry Cole. This is a picture book for children. It tells a real story of 2 male penguins, Roy and Silo, who create a family together with the help of their zookeeper, Mr. Gramsay, who gives them an egg that's been rejected by its mother, and they look after the egg, and the egg hatches and becomes Tango. It's a lovely book, but it's one of the books most frequently challenged, as reported by the American Library Association. Prompt number 4, Starman by David Bowie. Wonderful song. A sci-fi book about aliens. For this, I've gone with Bloodchild by Octavia Butler. There were plenty of aliens I could have gone with. This is a fascinating story of 2 different species, one human and one more insect-like, coexisting. The humans, the Terrans, are refugees from Earth, and their hosts need the humans to incubate their young. This was Octavia E. Butler's male pregnancy story. Prompt number 5, Shipping Up to Boston by Dropkick Murphys, a fiction or non-fiction book set in or around Boston, Massachusetts. For this, I've chosen Herrick's End by T.M. Blanchett. This is a YA urban fantasy about a secret world underneath Boston. The world building is impressive. The protagonist is 19-year-old Ollie, who is a reluctant and overweight hero. He's still reeling from the death of his mother a year before from cancer. When his friend from the group Nell goes missing, he bravely decides to investigate. An investigation which will take him to a fantasy world, a bit like Alice and the Dark Herrick's End. The intriguing cover art shows a gondola powered by an oversized crow, Mrs. Paget, on a river in the cavern. It totally vibes with the wild, driving energy of the Dropkick Murphys. Prompt 6, The Bonnie Banks of Loch Lomond, so Scottish as well as Irish. A book that's centered around nature. For this, I've gone with Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McConaughey. In 2023, I read 100 books, and this was my favourite of all of them. It's a thoroughly gripping tale about the rewilding of the Cairngorms by reintroducing wolves. The locals are hostile to the idea, fearing for their sheep and their children. Inti, the wolf girl, as she's known, is in charge of the project. She feels a special empathy for all living creatures. She has a medical condition called mirror touch synesthesia. If she sees an animal or human suffering, she feels the pain herself. The book is part ecological thriller, part whodunit, part wildlife adventure. Prompt number 7, Two Recruiting Sergeants by Seamus Kennedy, a fiction and non-fiction book about war. I'm rather tired by the saturation of books about World War I or World War II, even though I'm reading Hemingway's A Farewell to Arms at the moment. So I've gone with something a bit different, Apocalypse of the Realm by Octavia Volkan-Arkaya, a Turkish writer. This is a historical fiction set in Anatolia in 1402, with Tamerlane or Timur leading the Turco-Mongol troops to confront Sultan Bayezid at the Battle of Ankara. This is where the action begins, with a Tatar assassin, Zaire, watching in dismay as the Tatars change sides from the Ottomans to the Tamerlane's forces. It's a fascinating book with many POVs. Prompt number 8, Molly Malone by the Dubliners, a book with a badass female main character. I was thinking first of all with Sarah Paretsky's series with V.I. Wachowski. This is Bodywork, the 14th in the series. There's been over 20 books in the series, and she's a badass PI. But then I thought I'd have to go with Misaki from the Sword of Kaigan. Misaki, for 15 years, she's been married to the icy Takaru. She's borne him 4 sons and suffered a couple of miscarriages, but she's from outside the village and had a troubled past. She finds it difficult to adjust to being a housewife and a homemaker, and her fighting skills come into play when the peninsula where they live is attacked, and the war comes to the Sword of Kaigan, the name for the peninsula, and she shows she can really fight. Prompt number 9, an Irish pub song by the Rumjacks, a book that is misunderstood. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. A lot of people see this as a gothic romance, about the romance between Cathy and Heathcliff, maybe because they've been listening to Kate Bush, and while their love is important, it's only half the book. There's another half the book which is about Heathcliff after Cathy and about the next generation, and it's a sentimental, tragic romance. It's not like Romeo and Juliet. It's brutal, it's disturbing, it's psychologically fascinating and full of moral greyness. If you pick this up expecting a romance, you're going to be disappointed. But this is a great work of literature. In many of the films of Wuthering Heights, the second generation storyline, the whole second half of the book, is missed out, and they overplay the romance of Cathy and Heathcliff. And finally, tag some people. I'm late to the party. I think most people have done this. People I'd imagine ideal for this have done this. Gareth at Books, Songs and Other Magic has done this. Alan at Big Hard Books and Classics has done this. If you haven't done this, you'd like to do this, consider yourself tagged. If you enjoyed this video, you can give it a thumbs up. This will help me with the YouTube algorithm. And I shall see you on the next video. Goodbye.